I guess when people think of AI, they only think to me of generative AI. So are you saying there's other kinds of AI that are coming up or that have been in use all the time, and that people aren't aware that it's they when they associate AI, they just think generative AI, and that's why maybe they think there's hype around it or it can't do something?
Oh, yeah. Think about it for a second, right? We talk about the AI that's used in autonomous vehicles. I can bet you that there's very little application there that's generative AI. Right? When's the last time you walked into a car and you want to drive the car, right? You want the car to be more efficient. You want some auto navigating. You're not asking it, "Hey, Mr. Car, can you generate me a picture of a duck with 3 legs?"
Right.
This year, next year is my change.
That might be in a future model, right? And then it would probably be more about, can you generate a rubber ducky for me, right? Because that's more of a thing, right? So generative AI just does that, right? You put some stuff in and you request something out. You're not asking it to craft associations. You're not asking it to do detection. You're not asking it to do a lot of things, right? So different types of things do different stuff. For example, everybody has a smartphone, right? AI, in the pure sense, has been in that smartphone forever. You talk into a smartphone and ask it, do a search for me. Hey, Siri, right? Or, hey, you kind of walk down your favorite. There are actually multiple algorithms and instances in there because you got to translate the voice to something useful. There's then has to be another application to actually perform the task. There's probably multiple. And then once it's performed the task, something else has to then play it back to you in some form of audio that you as a human can receive. Right? So it's very, very prevalent. Everybody who's been using email since the 90s is using an AI application. It's called Spam. Right? The spam filters are AI based. They're just not as sexy as, hey, AI, can you do this search for me? Can you recommend a restaurant for me? Right? It's more mainstream, but it's not going to help you with generating your code or correcting your code.
Totally. So Alex, you were into AI before it became sexy as well, I guess. So what got you into AI to saw the promise? Because you've been a consultant as well, and you probably saw a lot of things before others have seen it, I assume.
I'm a kind of survivor, if you will, right? So, my mission to deliver more in the shortest period of time. Cheaper, better, and faster, right? So, consulting, I started my career as an advanced consultant. In the Mercury day, why we made it different, the guy with Russian accent was made it different out of blue, because I created a model that replicated the Israeli special forces teams on the selecting, training, and delivering the engagements like we used to do in an army. I applied to the consulting force. So with that said, with this advanced delivery, we helped Mercury to drive it through the competition. And we've been one of the, I want to say, strong partner that been leading them to the exit to HP. And this is why we had a meeting with Anna. We invited on the last episode, and we told the story about me.
She's awesome.
Into them. Right. She's legendary, amazing woman. And this is basically how I moved from consulting, pure consulting, to started to look into the software. What else can I do? I always proven my worth all my career. It's not because I'm playing golf. I was a part of the fraternity somewhere, right? It's just because I do better than my competitors do. And today with AI, we were transitioning, right? Today with AI, it replaces the human labor. So it adds the value in the points where earlier it was fully human driven. Because if you look at us, if we get to the layman terms, right, without the corporate bravado, all we did all our career for over 20 years, 30 years, we were humanized robots that were translating the textual requirements into the machine code on different levels and different missions. Make sense? So today AI does it for us 100 times faster. So you don't need humanoid robots anymore. You just need the architect that can orchestrate those robots, bots together. My point of view, I used to compare it to when I explain my ZAPTEST.AI technology, one-click process, and all this advanced functionality that you've seen. I showed you last week, right? How it's work, where we're at today. And every week we're moving progressive. We skyrocketing and we're leapfrogging farther and farther. As Anna said, it's too good to be true for people to believe, right? Unfortunately, I don't have a marketing budget that will be able to overshot everything yet. But the very serious organizations helping me out with that, and soon it's going to be much larger than it is. So it's done everything automatically in the very fast pace, in a matter of minutes. It produces the information, automates, and prepare for execution so many artifacts that would take humans in the old school processes thousands of man hours. Make sense? So productivity is enormous, and we as a nation, it's like it's used to be Cold War, and I grew up in Soviet Union, so I feel it the better than anyone, right? So I was an American kid that growing up in the different camp, right? So and it's when I was 18, I was able to take the situation alone by myself, but I never left to deal with a similar situation. I was an AI first guy evangelist on a mission to help the nation to be first, to be stronger, make sense, to produce fast.
Yeah.
So this is where I see AI has enormous potential for us to provide. I mean, to move much faster than humanity ever comprehended. And we're in
Yes.
this transition right now. It's a revolution. It's an AI revolution. Like any revolution, you break in the stereotype. We have to be comfortable living in the change.
I was going to say, let me build on a couple of essential points there. So we know a bunch of stuff about technology adoption. First and foremost, work never goes away. It transfers to machines.
Still, because people say it's not happening this time.
Yeah, whatever. It hundreds of years of human history say that's exactly what happens.
Right.
Right. And economists will tell you productivity is a measurement of transferring. Well, it's 2/3. It's 2/3 transferring the work to machine, and it's 1/3 increasing the workforce. All right. So work transfers to the machine. What that means is often different. Okay. This evolution that we're seeing with AI is unique, is because it's the first time at a wide scale that it impacted white collar workers more than it did blue collar workers. Right?
Yeah, before the robots is out. That's the first way.
And by the way, I don't know if you know, the word robot actually comes from a Polish term, roboto, for cheap labor.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can look
I
at
understand Polish a little bit. It's close to Slavic language. Yeah, but Rabota in Russian and Slavic languages, it's a work.
There you go. There you
Okay.
go. Right. Well, here's another one for you. And this was made famous in a Star Trek movie. Right. The word sabotage actually comes from Japanese workers throwing their wooden shoes called sabots into machines because they were afraid of losing their jobs. That's where we get the word sabotage from.
Very
Right?
cool.
And if anybody wants to write in, remember, you can't argue with Star Trek. That is
That's so true.
not allowed. But the point is, as these things happen, we know the work never goes away. It transfers to the machine. Humans don't ever totally go away, right? We move on to more strategic things. And we're also there because in Alex's example, there's no way you're going to build an architect who has never written code or or at least some percentage, right? So there's still people that are going to be checking code. They're going to be doing the fine tuning. They're going to be doing some of the fine manual labor around code development and the like that the machines can't, right? So this never goes away. It just changes. Another example for you. I'm going to give you two examples. One of my favorites. If Henry Ford, when he was looking at building this thing called a car, if he walked around and asked people what they wanted and what they projected, they would have complained about caring for the horse and they wanted to go fast enough. Innovation took him into leveraging the practices out of the Chicago stockyards so he could build machines at a reasonable price that could achieve those goals. If he had listened purely to the current users at the time, we would have gotten bigger horses on low fiber diets. Right? Right? That's what's very important to understand. The other thing that's very important to understand is with all this evolution, before the Industrial Revolution, the United States, I forget the exact numbers, had somewhere around 15 million people in it. And there was all these complaints with the Industrial Revolution that, people would be without jobs, people were going to starve, all this other stuff was being claimed because of the Industrial Revolution. We are now 335 million people with one of the lowest unemployment rates ever. We have scaled from 15 million to 23 times that, 22 times that, right? Without having people losing jobs or actually having to cull out the population, right? So even if these disruptions occur, because we're putting more people on more strategic activities, and we're finding new work, because of all this, we're going to see expansion. The difference is this is going to predominantly hit the white-collar worker, not the blue-collar worker.
I like to compare what we used to do for 20 years as a motorized rickshaws. We used to build a motorized bicycle for manual workers. Like I'm a tooler, right? I build a career on building the tool. From being a consultant, I design a tool that helps people manually to provide the automation, to produce the automated processes and what's not, right? What we do with ZAPTEST.AI, I like to call it a supersonic jet. So I'm explaining to managers and the leaders, I'm saying, guys, you had a bunch of the bottom manual automators. And right now, instead of having 100 automators, I'm giving you a supersonic jet that requires 2 automation architects. This is the crew in the pilot cabin, right? So I agree with you that we're gonna shift. And I encourage everyone not just to sit and wait, but brush their AI friendly skills, prompt engineering, adapt all the AI, start shifting their skill set to the mass production sort of, right? Instead of learning how to write the Python code, that's also useful just yet. But focus more on the web engineering and the prompt engineering to actually be subject matter expert in their areas of expertise and get used to ride the dragon. I'm saying we're not fighting with the dragon or Game of Thrones, right? But we're riding the dragon because we cannot be smarter than that. We cannot be faster than that. We just need to learn how to live with that and use it to our advantage.